Good morning, dear students. This session deals with logic simplification. These are the contents in the session: sum of product, product of sums, canonical forms, Carnot-Mark minimization. These are some definitions in this part. Literal, already we dealt that it's a variable or its complement. Product term means literals connected by dot. Some terms indicate the literals connected by plus. Min term is a product term in which all variables appear exactly once, either complemented or uncomplemented. Max term indicates the equivalent sum term. Min term. It represents exactly one combination in the truth table. It's denoted by small m j, where j is the decimal equivalent of the min term corresponding binary combination bj. Now, a variable in mj is complemented if its value in bj is 0. Otherwise, it is uncomplemented. For example, assume three variables a, b, c and j equals 3. Then bj is equal to 0, 1, 1. This is the equivalent of 3. So, and corresponding min term is denoted by small mj equal to a complement b c. So, wherever 0 occurs, it is a complement, 1 it is b, and next one indicates c. Max term. This also represents exactly one combination in the truth table. It is denoted by capital Mj. Similar to the previous case, j is the decimal equivalent of the max term corresponding binary combination bj. Now, a variable in mj is complemented if its value in bj is 1, unlike the previous case where it is complemented for the case when bj is 0. So, for example, assume three variables a, b, c and j equals 3. We know that bj is equal to 0, 1, 1. Its corresponding max term is denoted by mj equals a plus b complement plus c complement. So, wherever 0 comes, it is uncomplemented, and when 1 comes, it is complemented. Truth table notation for the min terms and max terms. So, min terms and max terms are denoted using a truth table. In this example, we have three variables x, y and z, and the corresponding min terms and max terms are represented in the table. So, 0, 0, 0 means the min term is, as 0 comes, the min term 0 is complemented. So, x complement, y complement, z complement is equal to small m 0. In the max term, when 0 comes, it is uncomplemented. So, it is x plus y plus z equals capital M0. Similarly, all other terms, for example, the min term 1, 0, 0 will be x, y complement, z complement equals M4. Whereas, the corresponding max term will be x complement plus y plus z equals capital M4. Now, we'll deal with another terminology known as canonical forms. It is a unique form. So, any Boolean function f can be expressed as a unique sum of min terms and a unique product of max terms. Now, the variable order is fixed. So, every function f has two canonical forms. One is the sum of products, or you can say the sum of min terms, and the other canonical form is the product of sums, or we can call that as the product of max terms. Now, the canonical sum of products, the min terms are included are those mj's such that the function is taking a value 1 in row j of the truth table for the function. Similarly, the canonical product of sums means in the max terms are included and those with the capital Mj such that the function value is 0 in the row j of the truth table for the function. So when you take the product of those sums, you could see that the 0 occurs, you have to look at the function where the zeros occurs. So 0 occurs for the M0, that means it is A plus B plus C. Then the next 0 occurs for M3, which is A plus B complement plus C complement. And the next 0 occurs for 101, which is A complement plus B plus C complement. And the last 0 occurs for 111, that is A complement plus B complement plus C complement. So this explains the two ways of representing your function f1, which is the canonical sum of product form and the canonical product of sum form. Now we have a shorthand representation, the sum of products and for the product of sums. The sum of product terms is represented with the sigma and the product of sums will be pi. Pi is the notation. So the function f1 with the variables a, b, c can be represented as sigma small m of 1, 2, 4, 6. The sigma indicates that this is the sum of product form and the small m 1, 2, 4, 6 indicates that the minterms to be included are m1, m2, m4 and m6. The same function can be represented as the product of sums. So the shorthand notation is f1 if b comma c is equal to pi capital M of 0, 3, 5, 7. There the pi indicates that this is the product of sum form and the capital M 0, 3, 5, 7 indicates that the max terms to be included are M0, M3, M5 and M7. So we could see there is a relation, they both are the same, they both represent the same function f1. Now we have a conversion between the canonical forms. When you replace sigma with pi or vice versa, replace those j's that appeared in the original form with those that do not appear. So we could see that the function f1, when you have the min term, that is m1, m2, m4 and m6, sigma 1, 2, 4, 6, which is left out is 0, 3, 5, 7. So for the pi you have to take the 0, 3, 5, 7. So we can see that the function represents these two forms, two canonical forms. Now we move to standard forms of Boolean expressions. So all Boolean expressions regardless of their form can be converted to the sum of products or the product of sums. The standardization makes the evaluation, its simplification and implementation of Boolean expressions much more systematic and easier. Now we are going to see that standard forms are not unique. The standard forms are like canonical forms except that not all variables will appear in the individual product, sum of product or product of sums terms. As we have seen in the previous slides, we have all the ABC terms occurring as terms or factors. But in this case, you could see that in the standard form, when you consider the function f1, you can write the function as a bar b bar c plus b c bar plus a c bar. So as you could see that in this, the second term, you don't have the a term or a variable there. In the third term, you don't have the b variable. So this is a standard sum of product form. Similarly, you can have a standard product of sum form. There you could see that in the first term you have all the three variables. The second term you have the missing variable a there, and the last term you have the missing variable b. So in that form, this format is known as the standard sum of product or standard product of sum forms, where you don't have all the variables appearing in the each terms of the sum of product and product of sums. Now, conversion of sum of product from standard to canonical form. So, given a standard form means it is, as you could see, there are missing variables in each terms. So, how can we convert or get back our missed variables? So, to get back missed variables, you can expand non-canonical terms by inserting equivalent of 1 in each missing variable x. So, we have studied that x plus x complement equals 1 in the Boolean algebra. So this is the first step. You will introduce this x plus x complement instead of 1, and we will remove the duplicate minterms finally. So when you take the expression in the previous slide, f1 a, b, c variable, you could see that in the second term and third term we were missing out the variable. In the second term we have missed out the a variable. So we can assume there is a 1 there. So that 1 can be replaced with a plus a complement, the blue color. Similarly, in the third term b is missing, that b can be replaced with b plus b complement. So when you expand this, we could see that these are the terms which are coming, and in that there is a repetition or a duplication of the term a, b, c complement which occurs in blue. That can be, one of the term can be discarded. So that results in the canonical form representation of your function f1. So we have moved from the standard to the canonical form. So conversion of product of sums from the standard to the canonical form, similar to the sum of products, you can convert from the standard to the canonical form. So in this case, you have to expand the non-canonical terms by adding zeros in terms of the missing variable. As we have seen that x complement is equal to 0, and using the distributive law. And as a second step, wherever duplicate occurs, you can remove those duplicate max terms. So in the expression, when you take the first expression, you could see that the second and third terms of the product of sums, we have the missing a and b respectively. So include that a complement in the first, second term and the b complement in the third term. You could see that then you go with the distributive law. You could see that we have the expanded form like this, and the blue one is repeating or is the duplication of the max term, so take only one. So that results in the final canonical form of the product of sums. So we have seen the canonical and standard forms. So when we consider the formal technique for simplification of Boolean functions, we could see that identical functions will have exactly the same canonical form. It can be the min terms, or it can be in terms of max terms, or sum of min terms and product of max terms, the product and sum terms, or is SOPs and COLs. Now we will deal in detail with the sum of product. The sum of product form. So an SOP expression when two or more product terms are summed by the Boolean addition. That results in such examples. We have two or more product terms summed by the Boolean expression. So we have the Boolean expression here plus. So these are examples of sum of product. Now you could see that in a sum of product form, a single overbar cannot extend over more than one variable. However, more than one variable in a term can have one overbar. For example, a bar, b bar, c bar is okay, but a, b, c the whole bar is not okay in the case of SOP. Now implementation of SOP can be implemented using AND or implementation, or you can go with the NAND implementation. So for example, the given example, x is equal to ab plus bcd plus ac, that has been implemented using AND or implementation in the left hand side figure, and using the NAND implementation in the right hand side figure. Now general expression of a sum of products. So any logic expression can be changed into SOP form by applying the Boolean algebra technique. For example, you consider the a into b plus cd. That can be rewritten as ab plus acd. So that results in an SOP. Similarly, the next example, you could see that the ab plus b into cd plus ef has been expanded as the sum of product term. Similarly, the third example and the fourth example. So third example, a plus b into b plus c plus d expanded as sum of product. And the last example is a plus b bar plus c the whole bar. That can be expanded as, using the De Morgan's law, we can rewrite that as the a plus b double bar c bar. That results in a plus b into c bar, which results in a c bar plus b c bar. The standard sum of product form. So a standard sum of product expression is one in which all the variables in the domain appear in each product term, as we have already dealt. So we could see that this is an example of standard sum of product form. So standard sum of product expressions are important in constructing the truth tables and the K-map simplification method. Now converting product terms to standard sum of product, already we have dealt. It is in a step 1 and step 2 manner they have explained. So multiply each non-standard product term by a term made up of the sum of missing variable and its complement. This results in two product terms. And you can multiply anything by 1 without changing its value. Already we have dealt. Similarly, repeat step 1 until all the resulting product terms contain all variables in the domain in either complemented or uncomplemented form. So in converting a product term to standard form, the number of product terms is doubled for each missing variable. Converting product terms to standard sum of product. Consider the example A B bar C plus A bar B bar plus A B C bar D. So consider the first term A B bar C. So to the first term we'll add the missing variable D as D plus D bar. So we could see that the expanded form is A B bar C D plus A B bar C D bar. So similarly the next term A bar B bar. So we could see that expanded term will be A bar B bar C plus A bar B bar C bar after adding the missing variable C as C plus C bar. So instead of 1 we will have the C plus C bar. Similarly the last term, as you could see, we have A B C bar D. So we have the last term as A B bar C bar D as it is. So this is the final converted form of the product terms to the standard sum of product. Now binary representation of a standard product term. So a standard product term is equal to 1 for only one combination of the variable values. So for the A B bar C D bar is equal to 1 under the condition that when A equals 1, B equal to 0, C equals 1 and D equal to 0. As we could see, this happens when it is 1 dot 0 complement dot 1 dot 0 complement resulting in 1. So and this term is 0 for all other combinations of the values for the variables. Next is product of sums. So the product of sums form. So when two or more sum terms are multiplied, the result expression is a product of sums. So examples of the product of sum terms are given below. Now in a product of sum form, a single overbar cannot extend over more than one variable. So however, more than one variable in a term can have an overbar. For example, A bar plus B bar plus C bar is okay, but A plus B C the whole bar is not okay. Now implementation of a product of sum. An example is taken x equals A plus B into B plus C plus D into A plus C, that can be implemented using OR and implementation method. So this is an example of the implementation of a product of sum. The standard product of sum form. A standard product of sum expression is one in which all the variables in the domain appear in each sum term in the expression. So as we have the standard sum of product form, we have the standard product of sum form. So an example is shown there. So each term will be having all the available variables. So in a standard product of sum expression, we could see that helps us in constructing truth tables and the Karnaugh map simplification method also. Converting a sum term to a standard product of sum. We have three steps. Step 1 is we add to each non-standard product term a term made up of the product of missing variables and its complement. So this results in two sum terms. Okay, you can add 0 to anything without changing its value. So that is the principle they have used. Now in step 2, apply the rule 12, which is A plus BC is equal to A plus B into A plus C. So that is actually the distributive law of plus over dot. Now repeat the step 1 until all the resulting sum terms contain all variables in the domain in either complemented or uncomplemented form. So, for converting a sum term to standard product of sum, this is an example shown. We could see the first term is a plus b bar plus c. Missing variable is d. So wherever the d comes, we have to take that as d bar. So d bar is actually 0. So the expression remains same when you have a plus 0. That is why we have a plus b bar plus c is equal to a plus b bar plus c plus d bar. Now this expression can be rewritten as, in the square box, you could see that you have that two terms. Similarly, b bar plus c plus d bar, the missing variable is a. So we have the next term that's added plus 0, and 0 can be replaced with a bar. So that results in again that two terms. So this product of sum with these three terms can be expanded in this manner. So this is how we convert a sum term to standard product of sum form. Now, binary representation of a standard sum term. So a standard sum term is equal to 0 for only one combination of variable values. So for all other combination of variable values, that will be 1. So for example, a plus b bar plus c plus d bar is equal to 0 for the combination a equal to 0, b equal to 1, c equal to 0 and d equal to 1. So this is the only combination for which you will get the value equal to 0. And this term is going to be 1 for all other combination of values for the variables. Sum of product bar product of sum. So converting standard sum of product to standard product of sum. Okay. So the binary values of the product terms in the given standard sum of product expression are not present in the equivalent standard product of sum expression. So if something is present in product of sum, that will be absent in sum of product. So the binary values that are not present in the SOP expression are present in the equivalent POS expression. So this is clear. So when you convert standard SOP to standard POS, step 1 is evaluate each product term in the SOP expression. That is, determine the binary numbers that represent the product terms. Now, step 2, determine all of the binary numbers not included in the evaluation in step 1. Now in step 3, write the equivalent sum term for each binary number from step 2 and express in POS form. Now converting standard SOP to standard POS. So this is an example. So you have the SOP expression. We have the a bar, b bar, c bar plus a bar, b, c bar plus a bar, b, c plus a, b bar, c plus a, b, c. Now its equivalent binary format is shown below. 0, 0, 0 plus 1, 0, 1, 0 plus 0, 1, 1 plus 1, 0, 1 plus 1, 1, 1. So there are 8 possible combinations. Some of the combinations are missing. So the sum of product expression contains 5 of these only. And the remaining 3 will be there in the product of sum expression. So the remaining 3's are 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0 and 1, 1, 0. So write the equivalent POS. We have the a plus b plus d bar into a bar plus b plus c into a bar plus b bar plus c. Now, Boolean expressions and truth tables. So all standard Boolean expressions can be easily converted into truth table format using binary values for each term in the expression. So standard SOP or POS expression can be determined from the truth table. Converting SOP expressions to truth table format. So SOP expression is equal to 1 only if at least one of the product terms is equal to 1. So for constructing a truth table from the SOP expression, the steps involved are: first, list all possible combinations of binary values of the variables in the expression. Next, convert the SOP expression to standard form if it is not already in the standard form. We have studied how to convert an SOP expression to standard form. Step 3, place a 1 in the output column for each binary value that makes the standard SOP expression a 1, and place 0 for all the remaining binary values. This example is shown there. We are asked to develop a truth table for the standard SOP expression a bar b bar c plus a b bar c bar plus a b c. So already it is in the standard form. So no need to have the second step. So you can directly go and look at the output wherever you are getting 1s and write the corresponding product term. So the 1 occurs for 0, 0, 1 means it is A bar, B bar, C. Next one is occurring for A, B bar, C, and the last one for A, B, C, and all the remaining are zeros. So you can read them. So this is the truth table for the standard SOP expression given there. Now converting POS expression to truth table format. So in this case, we have to remember that a POS expression is equal to 0 only if at least one of the product term is equal to 1. So similar to the previous case, for the construction of the truth table, in this case, as a first step, list all possible combinations of binary values of the variables in the expression. Convert the POS expression standard form if it's not in the standard form. Place a 0 in the output column for each binary value that makes the standard POS expression a 0, and place 1 for all the remaining binary values. This is an example which is showing how to develop a truth table for the standard SOP expression. So first list out all the possible combinations of input. Look at the output. So wherever 0 is occurring, you have to get the correct sum term. There's a sum term. So A plus B plus C, A plus B bar plus C, A plus B bar plus C bar, A bar plus B plus C bar, A bar plus B bar plus C. So this is an example where we have developed a truth table from the standard SOP expression, and you could see already this SOP expression is the standard form. Now, determining standard expression from a truth table. It is a reverse process. So to get the standard SOP expression from the truth table, as a first step, list the binary values of the input variables for which the output is 1. Next, convert each binary value to the corresponding product term by replacing each 1 with the corresponding variable and each 0 with the corresponding variable complement. So as an example, 1 0 1 0, you can write that as A B bar C B bar. Similarly, determining the standard expression from a truth table. In the case of POS expression, list the binary values of the input variables for which the output is 0. Convert each binary value to the corresponding product term by replacing each 1 with the corresponding variable complement and each 0 with the corresponding variable. So 1 0 0 1 becomes A bar plus B plus C plus D bar. Next, determining the standard expression from the truth table. So this is an example. We can have the SOP as well as the POS. So first they have gone with the SOP. So we could see that the input and output is given. Look at wherever those ones are occurring. Get the binary values which results in that 1. So the input binary value 0 1 1 results in a 1. So its equivalent product term is A bar B C, 1 0 0 A B bar C, 1 1 0 A B C bar, and 1 1 1 A B C. So the expression for the output from the truth table is X is equal to A bar B C plus A B bar C bar plus A B C bar plus A B C. Similarly, when you go with the product of sum, you look at the zeros. Zeros occurring at whatever outputs. Write the corresponding binary value. Write the expression as A plus B plus C. As you could see, 0 0 0 resulting in a 0. Similarly, 0 0 1 resulting in a 0. So it is A plus B plus C bar. 0 1 0 resulting in a 0. So it is A plus B bar plus C bar. 1 0 1 resulting in a 0. So it is A bar plus B plus C bar. So the final POS expression is A plus B plus C into A plus B plus C bar into A plus B bar plus C into A bar plus B plus C bar. Next we look at the Karnaugh map, or we can say K-map. The K-maps are graphical representation of the Boolean function. So we are going to see that one map cell corresponds to a row in the truth table. So there is a relation. and one map cell corresponds to a min term or a max term in the Boolean expression. That means multiple cell areas of the map corresponds to standard terms. It is an example of a two variable K-map. The ordering of the variables is important, as you could see. The function f x1 x2. x1 is the row and x2 is the column. So cell 0 represents x1 bar and x2 bar. Cell 1 represents x1 bar x2. Like that we have the cell 2 and cell 3. So cell 2 is, as you could see, it is going to be x1 and x2 bar. And finally cell 3 is x1 x2. So if a min term is placed in the function, then a 1 is placed in the correct cell. It is when you do the Boolean minimization, we find it difficult. So K-map is another option. It provides a systematic method for simplifying the Boolean expression. So if properly used, it will produce the simplest SOP or POS expression possible. It's known as the minimum expression. Now it is similar to the truth table. Instead of being organized into columns and rows, the K-map is an array of cells in which each cell represents a binary value of the input variable. And these cells are arranged in a way so that simplification of a given expression is simply a matter of grouping the cells. So K-maps can be used for expressions with 2 variables, 3 variables, 4 or 5 variables. So 3 and 4 variables are that is what we are going to discuss. 3 variable K-map. As you could see, there are 8 cells as shown. And the variables are A, B and C. So we can see the AB listed and the C listed. So we could see that the first cell is going to be A bar, B bar, C bar. Second, it is A bar, B, C. Third is A, B, C bar. Then you have the A, B bar, C bar, A bar, B bar, C, A bar, B, C, A, B, C, and finally A, B bar, C. Next we have a 4 variable K-map. As we have listed the 3 variable K-map, here it is A, B and C, D are the 4 variables. So A, B on one side and C, D on the other side. So similar to the previous, we will be having the A bar, B bar, C bar, D bar. Like that, we have all the elements or that product terms coming there. Now the cell adjacency can be studied from this. These are the adjacent cells. We have the adjacency in both directions. As well as we have the adjacency with this arrow shown. Okay, so these are the cell adjacencies possible. Now, K-map SOP minimization. The K-map is used for simplifying Boolean expression to their minimal form. A minimized SOP expression contains the fewest possible terms with fewest possible variables per term. So, a minimum SOP expression can be implemented with fewer logic gates than a standard expression. So, as we have already studied that, with that minimum SOP expression, we have the simplest circuit. Now, mapping a standard SOP expression. So, for an SOP expression in standard form, a 1 is placed on the K-map for each product term in the expression. Each 1 is placed in a cell corresponding to the value of the product term. And for the product term A, B bar, C, a 1 goes in the cell 101 on a 3 variable K-map. So this is where we are going to get that 1. So this is how we map the standard SOP expression onto the. Now in mapping a standard SOP expression, let us consider the example. We have the expression A bar B bar C is equal to 0 0 0. Similarly, A bar B bar C, A B C bar, A B bar C. So when you consider the K-map, when you have these values, the first one A bar B bar C bar, it indicates that if that term is there in the SOP expression, you will have a 1 at its corresponding location. Similarly, the next one, third one and the fourth one. So we can have the remaining all zeros. So we could see that this is how you map a standard SOP expression onto the K-map. And this is K-map, we can go for the minimization. So there are practice examples given there. You can try out those examples. Now, in the previous case, we have mapped a standard SOP expression. Now we are going to see how we are going to map a non-standard SOP expression. So a Boolean expression must be in the standard form if you could easily map it. If it is not in the standard expression, you have to make it in the standard form. As already we have dealt how to make it to the standard. Now, numerical extension of a non-standard product term, we can obtain its standard form. So assume that one of the product term in a certain 3-variable SOP is A B bar. Okay, as it is 3 variable, when you have a product term A B bar means you could see that it's not in standard form. So it can be expanded numerically to the standard form as we know that C is missing. So what we will do is we will have the term with C plus C bar. So that results in the new two terms with A B bar C bar and A B bar C. Okay, so that is how you expand that to the standard form. Now mapping a non-standard SOP expression, map the following SOP expression onto K. So you could try out that. Now K-map simplification for SOP expression. So after an SOP expression has been mapped, we can do the process of minimization. So for doing the process of minimization, we have to group the ones. So in the case of SOP, we have to group the ones and determining the minimum SOP expression from the map. So we are going to see how we are going to group the ones. So you can group ones on the K-map according to the following rules by enclosing those adjacent cells containing ones. Now the goal is to maximize the size of the group and minimize the number of groups. So grouping the ones, the rule says a group must contain either 1, 2, 4, 8 or 16 cells. That depends on the number of variables. So each cell in the group must be adjacent to one or more cells in that same group. But all cells in the group do not have to be adjacent to each other. Always include the largest possible number of ones in a group in accordance with the rule. And each one on the map must be included in at least one group. The ones already in a group can be included in another group as long as the overlapping group includes non-common ones. So, with this rule, we have given an example. We'll try to group. Okay, so when you try to group, there's the first example. You have one group, they have adjacent cells. Now, when you look at the next, trying to group that, you have one more, as this group is a new group which includes a new one. Okay, the one which is not already grouped. So with that, we could finish off, and one is lying alone. Okay, that cannot be grouped with any of the others. Now with the second example, you could see you have one group. As we have seen, there is an adjacency in that manner. You could see there is a group like that. So there is a grouping of 4 ones. That is the maximum group. Now you can have the other ones also grouped like this. Okay. In your expression. Now grouping of ones with the 4 variables. You can have the example. You have one grouping like this. You have another grouping like this. We have one more group like this. Okay. Similarly, for the next example, you have a big group like this with 8 ones, with the 4 ones and 2 ones. Okay. So this is the grouping of the ones. Now, after grouping, you have to determine the minimum SOP expression from the map. Now, the rules for that which we need to apply is group the cells that have ones. Each group of cells contains one. Create one product term composed of all variables that occur in only one form within the group. Now, variables that occur both complemented and uncomplemented within the group are eliminated, and they are called the contradictory variables. Determining the minimum SOP expression from the map. So, for determining the minimum product term for a 3-variable map, first, a 1-cell group yields a 3-variable product term. A 2-cell group yields 2-variable product term. 4-cell group yields 1-variable term, and an 8-cell group in a 3-variable map yields a value 1 for the expression. Similarly, for a 4-variable map, a 1-cell group yields 4-variable product term, 2-cell group yields 3-variable, 4-cell 2-variable, 8 cell one variable and 15 cell group in 1 for the expression. Now, for determining the minimum SOP expression from the map, when all the minimum product terms are derived from the K-map, they are summed to form the expression. Now, let us do the example. Determining the minimum SOP expression from the map. So, consider the example. Let us group the ones. So, this is the biggest group. As you could see, you have the 8 ones grouped together in a 4 variable map that results in a single variable. Now, in a 4 variable K-map with 4 ones group results in 2 variables product, and this results in 3 variable product. Now, finally, to get the minimum SOP expression, we have to write the sum term. So, B plus A bar C plus A B bar B. Now, as you could see in the previous example, you can try this as exercise. We are going to get this as the results. So, the AB plus BC plus A bar B bar C, as you have 3 groups. Similarly, for the second also we have 3 groups. Okay. Now, determining the minimum SOP expression, another exercise. This is the K-map which already we have seen. So, we have 3 terms for the first one and again 3 terms for the next one. So, these are the example questions which you can try out and you'll check your answers. So, after making the K-map, minimize it and get these expressions. This you can do as a practice example. Now, mapping directly from the truth table to the K-map. So, as you could see, these are ones occurring at 4 occasions, and those can be mapped to the K-map in this manner. So, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0 and all ones. Now, one more terminology which you need to consider is the don't care condition. Sometimes a situation arises in which some input variable combinations are not allowed. For example, in BCD, you know that there are 6 invalid combinations. So, since these unallowed states will never occur in an application involving BCD code, they can be treated as the don't care terms with respect to their effect on the output. So, the don't care terms can be used to advantage on the K-map. That is, they will also help in minimizing the expressions. Now, let us consider the case, example case. As you could see in the output, there are conditions where you have this don't cares occurring. So, for example, this has been for the BCD case. You could see that beyond that 1001, we have that 6 don't care states. So, the good thing is this don't cares can also be used for grouping. So, when you have this truth table, you can have the don't cares marked as X on the K-map, and you could see that if you are having an expression without considering the don't cares, what you are going to get is Y is equal to A B bar C bar plus A bar B C D. But when you go and use those don't cares also in grouping, you could see that there is a reduction in the expression. Y is equal to A plus B C D. So, as we have seen that these don't cares are those combination of input values which will never occur, or if they do occur, the output is of no concern for us. The function value for such combinations are called don't cares. So, they are denoted with either X. So, in our example, we have denoted that with X. As we have seen, they can be used for further simplification. Now, consider the example. Simplify the function f a b c d whose K-map is shown. The first one, we have gone with one type of grouping that results in an f which is equal to a bar c bar b plus a b bar plus c b bar plus a bar b C bar. For the same K-map, you can have a different grouping, that is in a different expression. X is equal to A bar C bar B plus A B bar plus C B bar plus A bar B C bar. Now consider another example, G A B C D. You have two types of grouping resulting in two expressions for the output G. G is equal to A bar C bar plus A B and G equals A bar C bar plus B bar B. Now we will consider the same as POS minimization. Now the approaches are same as that of the SOP, except that in the POS expression, zeros representing the standard sum terms are placed on the K-map instead of ones. Grouping these zeros. Now mapping a standard POS expression, the expression you consider a standard expression, get the values, the corresponding value for the second term, third term and fourth term, and you could see this can be mapped as zeros on the K-map. So according to the correct location, you put that zeros, that results in the mapping. Now consider the K-map simplification of the POS expression. Here you could see that it is in standard form, so you could have the corresponding zeros occurring at wherever this expression comes. So these are the zeros. Now we group the zeros, and the rules is similar to the grouping of ones. Now in POS you need to group the zeros and you will be getting the sum term. Okay, so there will be two sum terms available. Now we add the total to get the final expression, the minimum expression. So this is going to be what is shown next is going to be the sum of product expression. Now finally the algorithmic minimization is available. Now with the till the covariable it is well and good. For higher cases, you can code up a minimizer. In the computer-aided design CAD, you have the fin matrix algorithm and iterated consensus that will be discussed if you are interested. With this, we finish the K-map.